Hi, I'm Sarah Cowgill, along with Graham Noble, Jim Fight, Dave Patterson, and Andrew Moran. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. The Swamp Drumbeat has Robert F. Kennedy Jr. abandoning his Democratic Party tribe and going rogue. Will he align with another party like the Libertarians or go fully independent? If you don't like Trump or Biden, well, here's the latest alternative. And he's making noise. What does make RFK so appealing to disgruntled Republicans and Democrats? James Fight has a theory, I'm certain.
I do indeed have a theory, Sarah. And, there's been a lot of question of who will he pull as a third party candidate, whether that's with the Libertarians, which seems like probably the most likely route, at the very least seems like the most advantageous route, or as an independent. Either way, who's he going to draw more from, Republicans or Democrats? I don't know that he's going to draw. I don't know which one he's going to draw more from, but I definitely see him drawing a lot from both sides because he was a longtime Democrat. The Democrats who don't want Biden in office, who don't, like you said, are fed up with the choice of Biden or Trump, he's a good option for them to some degree. But, with a lot of what he said here recently, a lot of his anti-vax stuff, a lot of his anti-lockdown stuff, a lot of his anti-alphabet soup agency stuff. And here, I think it was just last month that he come out and said to some that there's no way under the Second Amendment that any law that we could pass is going to affect gun violence at all. And then he followed that up with saying, I'm not going to take anybody's guns. So, I mean, that right there wins him major points for small government conservatives and libertarians, though conservative he is not. And I don't know. The only thing I think that really detracts from him from the Republican standpoint, really, as far as major issues go, is probably abortion. He pulls back from that progressive, shout your abortion kind of thing, but kind of takes more of the Clinton-esque approach, right? His quote, I think, was, it should be legal, but every abortion's a tragedy or something like that. He poses a big risk to both of the two main candidates.
That a new poll came out by Echelon Insights, and they tend to think he will pull more from Joe Biden than Trump, kind of giving Trump that edge.
Echelon says they'll pull more from Trump. 538 says they'll pull more from Biden. I mean, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Echelon said he'll pull more from Biden, giving Trump the edge, and 538 says the opposite. He'll pull more from Trump and give Biden the edge. What it all comes down to, I guess, is going to depend on A, the dedication of Trump voters to Trump, and B, just how monolithic that Democrat Party is. They're the party of the collective over the individual. So what we've seen in the past is when Democrats are told to vote for somebody, they do.
They have cut him out so egregiously. I mean, his family name basically brought all the young people, to the party over the years for, with his famous uncle and his famous father. So, and to deny him, because he wants to run for president, deny him any kind of, Secret Service is absolutely, to me, it's a slap in the face. And I don't think he even recognizes his party anymore. Graham, what do you think?
Well, I think in terms of RFK's ultimate effect on the outcome of the 2024 election, he could pull a lot of votes, and I think there's a very good chance that he may do much better than conventional wisdom says a third party candidate will do, or an independent candidate, or whatever. I think he will do surprisingly well, but I don't actually think at the end of the day he's going to change what otherwise would have been the result of that election. And the reason why is because, and don't get me wrong, I'm not down on RFK. He is much more like an old school liberal, and there are so few real liberals around anymore. On a side note, it annoys me that so many conservatives talk trash about liberals when they actually mean progressives.
Right.
which they still do, and that's kind of annoying. But anyway, RFK. Here's my thing. In 2020, I believe it is perfectly fair to say that the vast majority of people who voted for Joe Biden did not vote for him because they wanted him to be president. They voted for him because they did not want Donald Trump to get a second term.
Right.
And I just think that so many Democrat voters are going to say we cannot risk going with JFK because we're going to possibly allow. We're possibly going to be basically allowing another term for Trump. So we're going to go with Biden, even though we still can't stand the guy. And I don't know how many Trump supporters are really going to go with RFK, even though they might agree with some of the things he says. I think a lot of Trump supporters, they're already committed to Trump. And let's face it, he almost certainly is going to be the nominee. And so, yeah, end of the day, I'm not, I say good on JFK for running. Absolutely. I like a lot of the things he says, but ultimately, I don't think he's going to change the final result.
What do you think, Dave?
Well, I think that what we're talking about is various factions. You have never Trumpers. If there will be a number of never Trumpers who will vote for Robert Kennedy Jr. You will have diehard progressives who, at any cost, will vote for Biden. And you have the idea of the Trump bloc and Trump supporters. They will not be dissuaded to vote for anyone else. And they represent a very significant percentage. And then you have,
but has his numbers dropped? Has Trump's numbers dropped off
a little bit, but
with
not much.
The hardcore Republicans
but
might have voted for him in 2020, but has it dropped off?
A little bit, but you have this other block that will be significant, and they're the ones who say, "I'm not voting." And I think that is no. I mean, consider, I can't vote for Trump because I'm a never Trumper. I can't vote for Biden because he is old or he is lame or whatever your reason. You can't vote for
so many.
You can't vote. Yeah, where do you start? You can't vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because he's a Democrat. I'm not voting, and that's going to hurt Biden more than anyone else.
RFK Jr. is an old blue dog kind of Democrat, and that's, I think, what the media and the country have done a disservice, because they've promoted this progressive ideology, and they cover the very far right fringes of both sides of the aisle. And that's what the perceptions from Republicans think everybody's a lunatic or like the squad, and Democrats think everybody is a right-wing Nazi, and there's nothing in between. That lovely centrist kind of government we used to have is no longer. And I think that RFK Jr. represents that to some degree. And I think he has an appeal. Now, if the media will let him get some airtime, that could change things. But I don't know, Andrew.
Well, if you're talking about the Libertarian Party and him being the nominee, centrism is not what you want for the Libertarian Party. There's very little chance a Libertarian is going to win the presidency. They need to focus on state and local elections. So Libertarian Party is better off electing someone who's actually a Libertarian, or nominating someone who's actually a Libertarian and identifies himself as a Libertarian. Kennedy is great on stuff like the military-industrial complex, the war in Ukraine, the spying establishment, as Mr. Fight said. But when it comes to other issues that libertarians like, so for example, he wants to ban fracking. That's not a libertarian-leaning issue. He wants the government to guarantee housing. He wants to give first-time home buyers 3% mortgages and an 8% mortgage market because it's a human right to have a house. That's not libertarian position. So on that front, it's not great. On the other hand, it's fantastic that if he blows up the whole two-party system, which again is unlikely to happen, but if he achieves that, then that's he accomplished something for 2024. And to echo what Graham said, I was making the same point, is pretty much, who do you hate more? Do I hate Trump more than Biden, or do I hate Biden more than Trump? And that's how voters are going to head to the polls in 2024.
I don't know. I mean, do we really think that people are just going to stick to their, candidate because they hate the other one? Is that really how this vote's going to play out in 2024? That's a sad day in America, where you vote because you hate, not because.
I think it was Stephen Colbert that said you don't vote for the candidate you want, you vote to keep the other bastard out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well,
it's going to be interesting to see, because it's now all about where the independent vote goes, where the non-aligned voters, which way they go. And when it comes to Kennedy, it's entirely possible that a larger than expected segment of independents will actually go for JFK, because I think most independents are driven by the fact that they dislike both Republicans and Democrats. And so possibly he will get a larger than expected chunk of the independent vote. So it's less about how many votes he will siphon off from Biden, or how many votes he will siphon off from Trump, how much of the independent vote he will get, and whatever part of the independent vote doesn't go to RFK, where does it go? And for my money, it's just my personal opinion, I'm going to have to assume, purely because of the economy, if nothing else, the economy, immigration, crime, as I said, all those three are interlinked. I can't help feeling that the majority of the rest of the independents are likely to possibly even, kind of biting their, kind of gritting their teeth, going for Trump, just because things are so bad right now.
I think too, Sarah, that you have to, again, realize that an independent, a Green Party, pick your favorite, they're not going to win. So in the end, it's people who vote who will determine who wins. And then you have to look at those who don't vote, those who vote independent or libertarian, how much do they take from the existing candidates? And my sense is that the way things are sorting out, they're going to take more from Democrats than they are from Republicans.
Well, I guess I'm kind of angry with the Democratic Party. I mean, the guy's name is Kennedy. You would think the Democratic Party would embrace RFK Jr. I mean, I would be kicking, Harris to the curb and embracing him, and that might push him over the edge.
Well, sure, Sarah, but on that note, you've got a Republican candidate in Louisiana.
Well, there you go. So, but anyway. Now it looks like they've driven him straight out of the party, and I think that's just an absolute, shame on them. I just do. Thanks, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. I'm your host, Sarah Cowgill. Thanks for joining us today for Free Thinking, Free Speech, LibertyNation.com.
Don't get caught up in the media madness. Join our movement for free thinking and free speech at LibertyNation.com. Publishing news and analysis 24/7 with original articles by our team of authors who tell it like it is. Join us each week for online TV shows, The Uprising Podcast, and Liberty Nation Radio. We believe in free thinking and free speech. We are LibertyNation.com.